If you sell software or any complex solution, there's one moment that quietly kills more deals than any objection ever will. And that's the free trial or proof of concept. Now, done wrong, it hands control of your deal to the prospect and you never get it back. But when done right, using the framework I'm about to show you, you can close 80 to 90% of every single trial or proof of concept you actually start. Hey, I'm Marcus Chan. I've sold over $700 million across 2 Fortune 500 companies. I've earned 12 promotions in 8 years and led a sales org of 110 people doing $195 million a year. Now I run Bentley Consulting, where I've helped hundreds of sales teams fix broken deal processes exactly like this one. Now, I'll be straight with you. I've watched talented reps give a great demo, get genuine excitement from the prospect, hand over trial access to their team, and then spend 3, 4, 5 weeks or more following up into silence. And the deal doesn't die because the product actually failed. It dies because the trial had no structure. So today, I'm walking you through the GEAR framework. It's 4 steps, takes maybe max 5 minutes of setup, and transforms your trials and POCs from a waiting game into a process you control. And stick around to the end because step number 4 is the one most reps skip completely. And it's the exact reason deals collapse right after the trial that seemed to go well. Let's get into it. Now, first, before I show you the framework, you need to understand why just giving a trial without the proper setup is really dangerous. And there's really 3 core reasons. Reason number 1, the learning curve might just be too steep. So perhaps what you sell, your product might be really intuitive to you, but to them, it is something new. It's something different from the normal patterns of what they're doing, especially their teams are probably using the tool. They don't know where to start potentially. They click around, they get confused, they give up as a result. Reason number 2, they just get busy. Okay, reality is the people who are probably trialing your product or leveraging the proof of concept, this may not be their top priority because they have their other day job as well. They have fires to put out, they have meetings, they have products, they have deadlines. So if you don't create structure, urgency, your trial becomes another thing on their to-do list that never gets done. Reason number 3, they get overwhelmed. So maybe they get access, maybe they log in, they're in that trial environment, maybe they even test a few things, but they don't have clear success criteria. They don't know what good looks like. So eventually they default to, we're still evaluating, and your deal sits in limbo. Now here's the truth. Most trials fail because reps treat them like a test drive of a car. They're like, hey, here are the keys. Take it for a spin. Let me know what you think. Now that is not a trial, that's hope, and hope is definitely not a strategy. So here's what you want to do instead. So the GEAR framework has 4 steps: goal, expectations, agreement, reclarify. Let's walk through each one. So first, the G, which is the goal of the trial. So when they ask for a trial or a proof of concept, your first move is to understand what they're hoping to uncover. And you say something as simple as this: hey, can you help me understand what you're hoping to uncover with this trial? That's it. Super simple question. Now, here's what's really powerful about this. Sometimes, based on their response, you may realize they don't actually need a trial. Maybe they need to see the specific use case that is what they need it for, or they need to hear about a specific case study, or they need a demo tailored to their workflow, or maybe they need to talk to a customer reference. And boom, suddenly, you've just eliminated weeks of trial time by asking one key question. Now, here's the reality. They might still need a trial, but if they do need a trial, now you know exactly what they're trying to validate to de-risk their decision. And that gives you more control in the deal. Then we move on to step 2, which is E, expectations alignment. So now you want to set really clear expectations for the trial. Most reps and most teams skip this. They say, hey, that sounds great, cool. My team will get you access to whomever you want, and they move on from there. That's a wrong thing to do. So instead, you say something like this: hey, no problem, we can definitely do that. However, after implementing hundreds of these projects, there are a few steps we want to incorporate to ensure your team is 100% supported in this trial. And at this point, then you outline like 3 things. So number 1, let's map out the exact use cases that are your biggest priorities. So your goal is not to give them a blank canvas. You're focusing on what matters most to them specifically. And you go into number 2, which is let's map out your exact decision criteria for each team member. So for instance, you want to find out who's evaluating this, what are they looking for, how will they measure success. And then number three, hey, let's also set up a few check-in calls throughout to ensure if any questions arise, your team is 100% supported. So notice here how we're setting this up. You're not doing a set it and forget it trial or proof of concept. You're actively managing it. Now look at what you just did. You took a passive trial and you turned it into a really simple, structured process. You're no longer waiting for them to tell you what they think. You're guiding them to a decision. Now we're not done yet. Then we go to step 3, which is the A for agreement. This next step is really simple but critical, because after you outline those very simple expectations, you just ask, hey, does that sound fair? You're just gaining agreement here. Now, if they say yes, you can move forward, but they hesitate, that's a really big red flag, because maybe they're not serious. Maybe they don't have bandwidth. Maybe someone else needs to be involved. So either way, you're uncovering it now, not like 3 weeks into a trial that's going absolutely nowhere, and you're not chasing them down for a response after that. Then we go to step 4, which is R, Reclarify the full buying process. This is the most important step. At this stage in the process, you should already know the full buying process from your discovery calls, especially if you're using the powerful section in my book right here, which I've also covered on my YouTube channel as well, but it's also my book, 6-Figure Sales Secrets. And ultimately, you're just reclarifying what happens after the trial because you understand the full buying process. And you say something like this: hey, so after the 2-week trial, let's assume it goes exactly as expected. Based on what you had mentioned in some of our past conversations, it appears what happens next are 3 things. Number 1, we review the trial results together. Number 2, you huddle with your CFO for the final sign-off. Number 3, we onboard on June 6th with a target implementation date of June 10th. Does that sound about right? Now take a look at what you just did. You've locked in the post-trial process before the trial even starts. You have dates on the calendars. You have next steps defined. You have decision makers identified. And if you have done a good job leading up to this, you're now 100% aligned and you're in control of the deal. But if at any moment throughout this gear process, if they're acting a little bit wishy-washy, that's a big red flag. That's when you dig in, you find what's really going on. Because if they can't commit to the process now, they definitely won't be able to commit after the trial either. And let me just give you a real example. I had a rep who was struggling with trials. She'd provide access, follow up for weeks, and deals would just die. So I walked her through the very simple gear process. So the next trial request, she used a framework. She asked about the goal, and it turns out they just need to see 2 very specific use cases. No trial action needed. Deal closing like a week after that. Another deal, she set expectations. She mapped out the decision criteria. She scheduled 3 check-in calls during the trial. By the end of week 1, they knew this is the right solution. It actually worked for them. They closed it by week 2. They just shortened down even the trial timeline. So our trial close rate went from maybe 30% at best to over 80%. Literally the same product, the same leads, just a slightly different process. That's the power of gear. So there you have it. That's 4 steps. Takes at max 5 minutes to do before the trial even starts. And you've gone from hoping they might log in to running a very structured process with decision makers, success criteria, and next steps locked in. Now, if you're a sales leader watching this and something just clicked because you're realizing your team is running trials the old way, sending access, following up, hoping for the best, I want to be direct with you. That is not a rep problem. That's a process problem. And it's costing you real revenue every single month, every single quarter, and every single year. Now, my team runs a free 45-minute executive revenue leak snapshot, and it's built for CROs and VPs of sales who want answers, not guesses. We take a look at your actual pipeline data, identify your top 3 revenue leaks, and hand you a 1-page memo you can take straight to your CEO. If you don't rate the session a 9 out of 10 for usefulness, we pay for your time, 0 risk. Now, link is in the description. Go book it. Now, if you want more frameworks like this every single week, make sure to hit subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're watching this on. Now, go close those trials.